All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, we are back again on the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen, back with a banging story today. Obviously, Hakim Ziyech is all over the news at the moment. How much we want to believe some of these sources, it's totally up to you guys. I'm not too convinced, but I can understand the whole rumors about him possibly wanting to go. I think that could be true. There could be some truth behind that. Whether it's going to be Dortmund, we don't know, but we will talk about that in detail. And then Attila Szalai, I hope I've pronounced it correctly. Attila Szalai or Attila Szalai. I don't even know who this player is, ladies and gentlemen. And apparently, we have already signed him, as per some of the sources. We have signed him. January, he's going to be here. It's crazy. None of the big Chelsea journalists have talked about it, and some Turkish media, obviously, Attila Szalai plays for Fenerbahce, so I can understand why Turkish media is talking this up. But player from Hungary, some of you guys might have seen him in Euros. I definitely didn't pay any attention to this in Euros. I had better things to do, watching, perhaps Germany or France or Italy. Definitely didn't focus too much on Hungary, but it is what it is. We'll talk about both of this in detail. But before we do that, my bad boy Ishan Padra is here. How you doing, Ishan?
No, I'm doing great, man. I'm enjoying cricket lately, to be very honest, man. The World Cup is lit, actually lit. The way you guys played, Australia. Hats off.
I said New Zealand, and I might not have said it in my channel because I don't talk about cricket, but I was telling everyone, don't be surprised if New Zealand and Australia make it to the final. Trans-Tasman final. Trans-Tasman. Our cousins, our neighbours versus Australia.
Both of the semi-final match, it was just atomic. What a match and what an ending, man.
Bro, what a way Australia chased down that Pakistani total, man. Wow.
Yeah, oh my God. I did not imagine it. Although, to be very, very honest, I thought that Pakistan's team were really good. I mean, after so many years, I thought they were good and they actually deserved it. But
bro, you know what? They were very close, but it is what it is. Close never wins anything. You got to finish the job. So Australia's into the final. But that's enough about cricket. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got nearly 30 people live. Everyone's buzzing. Everyone wants to talk about Hakim Ziyech. We'll talk a lot about Hakim Ziyech, obviously with Dortmund. If it materializes, I like it. I have to say, I might have to start watching a lot of Dortmund games. I might even have to be their fan for a little while because Hakim Ziyech, look, I love the guy. And in all honesty, I may not have really ever thought about it deeply, but if I was to follow a team in Bundesliga, ever since I was little, I remember the Jan Koller days, Thomas Rosicky before he went to Arsenal. If there was a team that I liked from the Bundesliga, it's probably going to be Dortmund. So, as I said, we're going to talk in details. But before we do that, shout out to the live chat. Lots of people have tuned in. Smash the like button. Keep smashing the like button. That's the only way we're going to get more exposure on this video out to more fans out there. You guys love coming to this particular channel on a regular basis. Ishan and I, we're back doing lives. Today is a transfer news one. You guys love the transfer news segments that we both bring together in this particular channel. So smash the like button, number one. Get those likes up to 30 straight away. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe. And hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Check out Ishan and his socials in the description. Shout out to Suthasan. Thank you so much for joining, my man. Jonathan Jitro, really good to see you. Big up, Miz. Frederick Themes, is he? Good to see you as well, Frederick. Roby is here. Then we've got Karthik, we've got Tumo, we've got Great, Ehian, Rishi, Calvin, Shingo, Prashant, Champions of Europe, Jake, man. We've got plenty of people, man. S. Roy is here. RS7F9. Fantastic to see all of you guys. Honestly, it's brilliant. Please, as I said, keep smashing the like button. Ishan, let's get into this straight away. I'm just going to bring this up first of all. Let's have a quick look at the news before we start discussing about it. So the news looks something like this. Hakim Ziyech wants to leave Chelsea. Dortmund are keen on loaning the Moroccan this winter, according to BILD, however you want to pronounce it. This is the sort of news that's circulating around today, Ishan. First of all, I just want to hear your raw thoughts about him wanting to leave Chelsea. It's quite believable. I can't say that that part of it is fake or not. I don't think that's fake. I think it's quite sensible or believable that he could possibly want to leave. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think so. It's believable as well to me because it's not been the greatest of the games lately for him, and also to sum up his whole year as well. I think so. He's enjoyed the last season when we were the champions. We won the Champions League. I think so. He had its part to play in it, but now as it stands, things are changing and things are improving day by day in our team, and he's not been at his best. Even after chances. And this is the phase that we were talking about where we got many of our players injured, like Lukaku and Werner, and he had his perfect opportunity to just go out there, and just show that he's still there for this team and he can contribute to the team. But it's highly unlikely, and it feels like now that yes, this is more bigger of a struggle. And guys like Ziyech, whenever he has some bad games, it feels like he's got nothing to offer. Absolutely nothing to offer. I mean, we've always talked about.
It seems like the fans just, as soon as he has a bad game, just get him out. Get him out of the team. Substitute him. Sub him out now.
And from one angle, it's understandable as well because you see guys like Werner and Mount. Whenever they have bad games, they've got something under their pocket which they just deliver, and it seems like they have a bad game, but they at least did this and that and this and that. For example, Werner, he'll have a shit game whole 89 minutes, but he'll go out there and get an assist for the 90th minute or get a score 90th minute, and you can't complain anymore. Similarly goes with Mount. If he has a bad game, he'll just run the whole next half, run here and there.
The work rate is good. The work rate is good.
The work rate will be phenomenal. The off the ball work rate, the defensive work rate, the ball recoveries will be fantastic, and that's how Mount tries to just mark his impact on the team. That's how these guys do it. Whenever they have bad games. But Ziyech, when this guy has poor games or is in a poor run of forms, I don't think so if he's giving anything to the game. In fact, his strength becomes his weakness. So many misplaced passes, and all those lofted through balls that he tries to work on that just does not click. So yeah, I mean, it's quite understandable that he's having a bad phase. And at this point of time, is you and I, we like this guy, but still we cannot say that this guy should be staying because it does not seem like he should be staying.
Bro, it's very difficult to sell his attributes to Chelsea at the moment. It's very difficult. I mean, when he is good, Ishan, he is magical. We've seen him when he's good. He's absolutely magical. But when he's poor, he is, as you said, Mount can be poor, Werner can be poor, but at least the work rate kind of bails them out. Whereas Ziyech, when he's poor, it's like so many people just can't wait for him to just get off the field. I love him so much, Ishan, but even I struggle to back him because when you're that poor, it's very difficult. Now, I think the system is hurting him at Chelsea. Don't get me wrong. I feel the system is hurting him, the way we kind of set up to play and attack opposition. In somewhat, I think it's kind of hurting a lot of our attackers, to be honest, the system that we're playing. Our wing-backs are enjoying it, which is fine. They're meant to be in a 5 at the back with the wing-back situation. But let's be honest, Ishan, I think Chelsea's probably at a point where I don't know totally if Hakim Ziyech is a Thomas Tuchel kind of player. So Thomas Tuchel's probably thinking from that perspective that if he was to leave or go on a loan, whatever the case is, we'll talk about the Dortmund situation, that maybe it's not a bad thing. The player gets to do what he wants to do. The manager then can bring in a particular player of his selection, of his choice. Because let's be honest, Ishan, a lot of these players are not Tuchel players. He basically inherited it. And Hakim Ziyech could be someone who is totally not a Thomas Tuchel player. What's your thoughts around that?
Very, very important point that you made, and that's just the point that struck in my mind, and it's like an eye opener. Like, yes, Ziyech is not a Thomas Tuchel's player.
Yeah.
Frank Lampard wanted Hakim Ziyech, and apparently Frank Lampard,
Yes.
the kind of gameplay that Frank Lampard tried to insist in this team, Ziyech was the one who would guide and become the anchor of that gameplay. You'd remember, Miss, when Frank Lampard was our manager, the gameplay that we saw, the majority part of the gameplay that we saw, which was, try to always approach from the flanks, both the ends, be
it was
hollow in the
perfect
middle.
for Ziyech. Perfect for Ziyech.
I mean, just attack from the flanks and cross it in, and then or else, even if you want to have a through ball there, even if you're having counter attack, then there always approach it from the flanks, and you would have Ziyech as the man who would be doing that, and also having Werner, the guy who can just break the defense lines and run through every defense line possible with the space. Ziyech would be the one who could just guide that pass, and that was how Frank Lampard wanted us to play. And at the end, even you would see at his the final years of Frank Lampard's managerialship, you could see it was always cross and inshallah, the gameplay that we were playing. Cross and inshallah, that's it. And maybe that's why we all know the fact that Ziyech's best attribute is his passing abilities, his crossing abilities, his over the head through balls, and those attributes is what he's known for. Maybe that's what he was born on the team, and Frank Lampard wanted that, and maybe that was his main motive of gameplay that he wanted to insist in this whole team. And now, once he's gone, Thomas Tuchel might not be the one wanting to play that kind of game type. Also, now, Miz, once you see the work rate that you need to put up in a Thomas Tuchel system is day and night comparatively to what you need to put against Lampard, and also against in your Dutch league. It's complete night and day. So I think so everything is taking a toll on him, slowly and steadily. The first year in the the time when we won the Champions League and Thomas Tuchel coming in January, I think so that was the time where there were games here and there that he played quite well, and we were quite happy with him. And his
just before he got injured, remember, before he got injured around December, I think.
Yeah, but I think so. The consistency is very, very key. Very, very key to a player. You need to
and
keep up.
It was always up and down. It was always
always up and down. And you would always see that whenever he's going up, boom, and a small injury, and he's gone. And the next best we see of Hakim Ziyech comes very, very late. So I mean, it is what it is at this point of time, and it's getting very difficult for us to defend for him, and also I think so it would be best for him as well, Miz, because we've already overloaded with many attackers, and also it's his prime, so he deserves to get a lot of game time, right?
This is the most important point that you've just made. He's in his prime. Even he deserves to leave and make the most of your prime time, my man. Make the most of your prime time. You only get one prime in your career. Everyone only gets one prime. No one gets multiple primes. Go out there, boss it wherever you need to go. But before we do that, I think recently as well, he's been quoted to say he was very disappointed apparently when Frank Lampard got sacked. I don't know if you saw those quotes. In recent times, those quotes came out. Ziyech was saying, I was very disappointed when Frank Lampard was sacked. And that also is a bit telling that I don't think he completely appreciates the current system. Yeah, he does a job. Obviously, he's a Chelsea player. He has to do a job. But him saying that he was disappointed, I get it. A lot of people will say, well, player needs to say that. Of course, a player needs to say that. But we do need to understand Ziyech's connection with Lampard was very strong. They actually liked each other a lot. Frank continuously used to praise him in the press conference, off field, whatever, any sort of interviews that would come on YouTube. Frank Lampard would always say, who's the best passer in Chelsea? By far, Hakim Ziyech. Everything Hakim Ziyech.
Ziyech. He'll say Ziyech.
Ziyech. Yeah. I mean, Ishan, are you surprised that recently that he said those kind of quotes, that he was disappointed that Frank Lampard got sacked? I mean, not many Chelsea players would be going out and saying that anymore, because post Frank, we ended up winning the Champions League, my man. Like, why are you still disappointed? So are you a bit surprised that he's saying that? Or are you thinking that's an indication that he doesn't really like the current setup?
Yeah, I think so. It gives an indication that he's the setup and or the system that we are playing in at this point of time is not that he favors that much, because at Lampard, with Lampard, it was quite clear that Lampard actually wanted him, and he was the anchor of that attacks. And all those, cross and inshallah gameplay that we'd play, Hakim Ziyech would be the main guy. And at this point of time, it's all switched up. Even if come on, I mean, Thomas Tuchel can use this guy. It's not that he does not want to use this guy or hasn't used Ziyech. Thomas Tuchel has used Ziyech, and even Thomas Tuchel would want to get the best out of him. If the best of Ziyech comes out, when Thomas Tuchel is a manager, he would definitely be using that. But when and until when? And the main thing is, if you're not the type of a player that Thomas Tuchel envies or the system envies, you have to bring out your best, and that consistent basis that the you don't get irrelevant in the whole system and amongst the other options that Thomas Tuchel has to select, or else it'll be easy for him just to select anybody else. Why? Because you're already not fitting in your system and you're not on the best of your form. So on what basis are you gonna make it to the team, right? Next thing is that, I mean, yes, winning the Champions League, something for him should be a big thing. Why? Because in Ajax, let's be very honest, Ajax is not winning the Champions League now. I mean, they're a big club with huge heritage, but at this point of time,
they do well in the Champions League. They may go as far as maybe a quarterfinals, but then
they went to semis. They went to semis, right?
And then eventually a bigger team gets them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. So the winning the Champions League is a different thing. Going to finals is one big thing, and then winning is something else. So he did experience that, and I think so he should be happy for that. But at the end of the day, he knows the fact that the system is not for him. The work rate that Thomas Tuchel demands, it actually may be too much for him, because let alone the attacking tens, miss. Even the striker needs to be, that highly impulsating up and to and fro in terms of defending, dropping back, trying to defend. It is the striker which has to start all the pressing and all those, that work rate which we talk about defensively. So the attackers have to be on the toes, and then they have to be more. They have to show more in terms of work rate defensively.
Yeah.
And maybe Hakim Ziyech has not seen that in Ajax. I'm not saying that people don't run in Ajax. That's quite irrelevant to say. But the system is different.
I completely understand you. Like, the system is different. The way they defend is different. Maybe it may look like they're not running a lot, but they are. But they just run as a unit. They defend as a unit, and maybe that's just hasn't been the case, under Chelsea, I suppose. But this is a really interesting comment from Google Lethu. Thank you so much for commenting this one. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got over 50 people live right now. Please smash the like button. Let's get those likes up to 50. If we can achieve 100 likes for the stream, I think that's going to be fantastic. Let's get to 50 likes straight away. That's about 28 likes away. You guys can do it. You guys are enjoying this stream. You guys are buzzing in the live chat. And I'm going to try and bring out as many as, interesting comments into the screen. So smash the like button, get those likes up to 50 straight away. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe. Make sure you subscribe. Google Ethu, facts. When we started under Lampard, all our attacks went through Ziyech. The bad thing with that was we kept on doing the same thing no matter what and came too predictable. 100%, that's true. But I think one thing we need to talk about, Ishan, is when it was going through a lot with Ziyech, that's the kind of profile Ziyech likes. He wants to be the main guy, the center of attraction. Even with Ajax, I know there was a lot of good players in and around him. There was, I believe, there was Donny van de Beek, there was Frankie de Jong, there was Quincy Promes, and all of these guys. But one of the major players, one of the X factor was Ziyech. Yes, there was Dusan Tadic as well. They all shared the load, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, you can say that Ziyech was one of the center of attraction at Ajax. The fact that he never got that, especially under Thomas Tuchel, do you think that's another factor as well? That I feel like he is a bit egotistic at times. Like, his ego might be hurting that, God damn it, I'm in my prime. I'm Hakim Ziyech, man. This is Ziyech FC. Do you know what I mean? So do you think that could also play a part that I don't want to be around a team where I'm not the number one suited player? Because, he's been touted to AC Milan. Now he's getting touted to Dortmund. I know in Dortmund there's Haaland and whatnot, but Ziyech would get a lot of limelight in Dortmund, which we'll definitely talk about. Even in AC Milan, I think he'll get a lot of limelight. Do you think that this is a factor as well that I'm not really keen?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's exactly what you said, Miss. I mean, the whole team had surrounded under Ziyech and they were playing accordingly. But also, I believe that, Miss, there's a very good comment by Criteria Good Manners, after which Matisse came in our show and tried to,
I don't even know if that's the real Matisse.
I don't know. But
putting our lipsticks out there. I don't think it's him.
Big up to Matisse if that's the real one. But yeah, we move. The thing is, yeah, I think so. This is a very good comment. He's also a right wing, and that's what we need to discuss here, is that once you are a right winger, the expectation for you to drop back and play the defensive role is somewhat less to what being an attacking 10 is. Attacking 10s, as an attacking 10, you basically got a 3 at the back, and your wing backs defensively has to drop back regardless, right? So your attacking 10s are the one who needs to control the midfield in terms of defensive scenarios, and then you have to drop back as an attacking 10 and then control the whole midfield defensively, try to drop back, try to get the ball, try to control the counter transition and the counter attack that we would go under. So is that the actual gameplay of Hakim Ziyech that we saw in Ajax? Absolutely not. He was actually a proper winger, a proper right winger in Ajax, and that's how he played. That's how he waited for his turn, waited for those passes. And like you said, I mean, the team has to revolve around him, has to be waxed around him, and then he might get the best out of him at Chelsea. That's not how it's gonna be. That's definitely not how it's gonna be. Frank Lampard might have been doing that at this, at the point when Ziyech came in first, because at that point of time we didn't had any striker, prime striker. We had Tammy at that time, but then was there any particular person that we molded our whole gameplay around? Maybe not. Nobody.
Yeah.
But Frank Lampard could have done that. But the thing is that even if you want to have that role, you need to have a lot of space and time to do that. In Premier League, there's no chance to do that.
And also, you would have to be like a Eden Hazard type of a player to have a complete game circulated around you. You have to be that caliber of a player. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I mean, the formation and the system that we're playing and we're talking about here for long, I think so that's a very, very key part, Miss. And because that's what he realizes is that playing as a right winger is very, very different to playing as an attacking 10. And now playing as an attacking 10 is a very different role to what playing a right winger. Also, the time that you get as an attacking 10 to think and make decision and then do something out of nothing, it's totally different to what you are as a right winger, right? So I think so it's a very two different scenarios, and maybe he realizes that. And as it seems, maybe we are going ahead with the back three as well for maybe even the next season. If we complete the season with no hassles, we might go again for the next season with the same system. So he might not see any light at the end of the tunnel, and just to play with his flair, with his comfortability. And also, like we said, the pace of the whole system, the league might have taken a toll on him, and he has it would be a good fit for him if he goes to a Bundesliga side or any, maybe let's say even a La Liga side.
And let's talk a little bit about this whole Bundesliga situation. Him linked to Borussia Dortmund now. The particular news coming from BILD, however you want to pronounce it. I'm thinking, looking at this Borussia Dortmund side, he could possibly play that, the player on the right side, cut back in, find players like Haaland, find players like Rafael Guerreiro, because they do play with, I believe they play with the 3 at the back. They play with the wing back situation at times, where Rafael Guerreiro plays as a left wing back on the right side. Can't really know who it is. They got players like Marco Reus. They got Thorgan Hazard, Gio Reyna, Jude Bellingham in the middle. They could do with a playmaker type of player like Ziyech. And I think in the Bundesliga, they could accommodate a player like Ziyech who doesn't have to track back and defend. Because we see how open Bundesliga is, Ishan. It is so open. They don't really care about track backing. It's 2v2. Let's make it happen. Let's tango. Let's tango, brother. 2v2, 1v1, 3v3.
Yeah.
You know, let's do it. Sometimes 3v2. And you see, none of the attackers ever come and help. They go, yep, good luck, defenders. Do your best. You know, see what you can do. So, Ishan, this prospect of him going to Dortmund, it could possibly work out for him. He could actually ball out, and he could do a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think so. It would be a good decision for him, to go out there in Dortmund and just try things out. Bundesliga is definitely, I believe, a slower paced league comparatively to the Premier League, and also the oppositions that he might face. Definitely, he won't be facing those,
I don't know if it's slower paced, Ishan. I think it's more open. It's just
it is
it's chaos.
It is open, and you get a lot of time on the ball. As simple as that.
Yeah, you do. You get more time. Yep.
Yeah, in Premier League, you won't get that much time on the ball, and in Bundesliga, you do actually get a lot of time on the ball, and also you have got spaces. It's like you said, it's an open game play for actually, to be very, very honest, and it'll be easy for him to find passes, to find the likes of Haaland, Ruiz, and Bellingham would be there. He's balling out there. So yeah, I think so it would be good. And also the level of opposition that we talk about always, it's going to be different, and it's going to be night and day when you compare the level of opposition in Premier League and in Bundesliga. So he's definitely, if he drops form, there are going to be oppositions in the league itself where he can, just come out there, try slowly and steadily try to gain form, and try the best. Against the low opposition teams, he can come up here and actually perform, get a goal, maybe get the confidence back, and then he can be back again with his good form. But in Premier League, it's absolutely relentless. If you're having a bad form, the manager might be thinking twice, thrice to even give you a try against, let's say, a Brentford or a Norwich, because anything can happen in Premier League. Any club is good to beat any club, and any situation can come in front of you. So that's not the case in Bundesliga, and it's more of a calm situation there. So maybe it'd be good for him to actually go out there and just bring the best out of him, and it's his prime years.
100%. It'd be very exciting to see Ziyech and Haaland and Bellingham and all those people link up. I think Ziyech and Haaland, that could turn out to be something crazy, to be honest. And him facing teams like Bayern Munich, he could definitely relish that particular situation. And in the Bundesliga, there's some really, really good teams. Leipzig is there, Leverkusen is there. Overall, Ishan, I think that could be a suitable league for him. I mean, it could be a similar sort of situation with Ajax when he was in Ajax. He could find that sort of love again, that flair kind of football.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, Ishan. And I don't know about live chat. I want to know exactly how you feel about how we play at times, or how most teams play in the Premier League, besides Liverpool and City. Ishan, would you agree that we're not always a flair type of a team? Like, we are more defense first, rock solid defense, and then we try and create opportunities if we can. We're not like tiki-taka, flair type of football, opening teams up left, right, and center. It's not like we are balling out in attack. I know we've scored 7 against Norwich, but let's be honest, that Norwich team was rubbish. Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, do you feel, him going to Bundesliga and playing for a flair team like Dortmund, that could be something beneficial for him as well?
Yeah, 100%, man. I'm looking forward to it. If he goes there in Dortmund, it'll be very interesting to see how he gels up with the players as well. Haaland is there, Ruiz is there, Bellingham, like I said, and also they've got some. They've always got some new prospects, new young talents coming up, Dortmund, and it's always good to see and exciting to see how they transpire and how they face against and give tough competition to Bayern Munich. But yeah, I think so. It'll be very good. It'll be very good to see Ziyech in the Bundesliga. Like I said, he's gonna have more time on the ball. He's got a proper target man there like Haaland. He needs to just go out there and find him with his passes. having known the fact that he'll get more time on the ball, he'll eventually end up making those good passes that he could not do in Premier League, and which he's struggling. Also, like I said, when he drops form, there will be oppositions where he can be played easily, and maybe not. Maybe he can be tried
and some
easily
of
in
his
the.
weaknesses won't be really highlighted. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly. Also, there are the very low level teams when you face in the DFB Pokal Cup and all those sort of German cups. You'll have those matches where you can actually come up and try to be your best, and it'll be easier for him to actually go out there and impress the manager comparatively to what it is in Premier League. In Premier League, we know what happens.
Oh,
Saul came up. There's such a champion of a player. Saul came up against Aston Villa and got hammered the first half. It was stars running in his mind all over. He was getting
he got
turned up.
sent home packing.
He was in merry-go-round in that first half that he was playing. Absolute shambles. And that's when you know that Premier League is a different gravy, man. Doesn't matter if you faced Barcelona, Real Madrid million times in your career. Come to Premier League, just an Aston Villa.
Burnley will catch you out. Burnley will catch you
Even
out.
the Burnley would catch you out. So it's a different gravy, and we've seen that. And just look at now, even taking the small example of Saul Mills, it's so difficult for Saul to impress the manager until now. It's been months now since he's been here.
Bro, I've resorted to the fact that Saul will have to score a hat trick to impress. I don't think anything else will really impress.
Yeah, exactly.
But, Saul's story is a whole new story and a different story.
Yeah.
Before we end the thing with Ziyech and talk about Attila Szalai, who I've got no idea who this particular player is. So I'm looking forward to what the live chat has to say about this because, and I think even Ishan doesn't really know. He only heard about the news today from me when I said that we want to talk about this particular player. And he's like, who is this guy? we don't know who this player is.
I didn't know it.
Before we wrap things up with Ziyech, this is a very good question. We control the games and grind out the... this is a very good comment. That's what I meant to say. We control the games and grind out the win, knowing we have a solid base, very similar to the early Jose team, but with different setups. Similarly, we have a strong spine. And this is what it is. That's why we've been so good defensively. Our defensive stats are off the charts. Everything that we've done so far has been surrounded around a rock-solid defense. As I said, before we wrap things up with the Ziyech situation, I just want to quickly ask the live chat as well. Please, live chat, let me know what your thoughts are. I want to hear your comments on this particular question that I'm going to make, and Ishan as well. Can Ziyech turn it around at Chelsea at all? Is there any hope, Ishan? Can he perhaps become, I don't know, a Chelsea great? Is there a chance or not really?
Difficult one, man. At this point of time, it looks like he might need to go, but is he capable of 100%? I am even now sure that he's capable of doing things that he's
What would
not
he
done.
have to do for you, Ishan? What would he have to do for you?
I mean, nothing special, Miz. I mean, is it that he has never performed well under Thomas Tuchel? No, he's performed well, and we need to realize that he's performed well. He's been man of the match in good games, big games.
Yes.
He's scored clutch goals for us in big games, big moments, and he's done that last season. He's been doing that this season as well. I mean, in the whole preseason, he was our top scorer.
He was outstanding. He was outstanding.
He was our top scorer, and as far as I know, we played with same manager. Jody Morris was not our manager, in the preseason. This was definitely Thomas Tuchel. So when you have the same manager with the same formation and this guy balling out, I know it's a preseason, but whatever it is, he has shown the potential to be the best. And the first game of the whole season being the Super Cup game against Villarreal, he was balling out. He got the goal. He was balling out in the first half. Unfortunately, that nag of an injury, shoulder dislocation.
He was flying, bro. He was flying.
Exactly. So the bottom line here is he capable of being great? Absolutely, yes. But how long will it take? You never know. And Thomas Tuchel says that, after that dislocated shoulder, he's not been the best of himself. He's hesitating and resisting, to just to have that flair back in him. And maybe that's the case. That might be true. But can we wait that long for him to get this flair back? Maybe not, because we've got so many options that he will be faded away eventually.
Yeah.
Now, having known the fact that Pulisic's back, and apparently if Werner and Lukaku is back after the international break, will be Ziyech will be finding him in bench more often. And at his age, at his prime age, I think so he should be playing more. He should have been the anchor of the team. Well, for his from his perspective as well, I think so the formation might not be the best, but again, is it that he's never played good in this formation? Absolutely not. He's played some man of the match performance games in the same formation, the same system, and he's capable of doing that again.
Atletico Madrid, he scored that second leg, the goal. Manchester City, some clutch goals against FA Cup final. Sorry, not FA Cup final. FA Cup against Man City in the Premier League. Semi-final. So, yeah, man, there's been some games where he's done extremely well. Obviously, in the Super Cup, it was his goal that started the whole situation against Villarreal. And up until then, we were actually looking good. As soon as Ziyech came out, our whole attacking flair sort of looked a bit crazy. But enough about Ziyech. Now we want to talk about this particular player, ladies and gentlemen. We've got almost 60 people live right now. Let's get the likes up to 60 straight away. Let's have a quick look. We've got 33 likes. Let's get 17 more likes to get to 50 first up. So 16 now. We've got to 34. So let's get 16 more likes to get to 50 likes. And then we'll push for 100 if we can. So let's get the 50 likes straight away. You guys are enjoying it. So I'm hoping that we can get those likes. 15 likes now. So only 15 likes away. So let's get there, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Ishan, this is the news. Chelsea have agreed a 23.4 million fee with Fenerbahce to sign centre-back Attila Szalai. I don't know how to pronounce this. The 23-year-old Hungarian international will sign a 6-year contract with Chelsea and receive an annual salary of 4 million ahead of the January move. This is coming from a particular Turkish source, CNN Turk. 5.2 million followers. I mean, you shouldn't be messing around with 5.2 million followers, but I don't know. I can't really take this seriously because none of the top Chelsea journalists have been talking about this. But Ishan, look how detailed this is. 23.4. Why 23.4? Why not 23?
0.456. They're going decimals now.
23.4 to be precise. 6-year contract. Annual fee of 4 million salary per year. January move. I mean, Ishan, what do you know about this player, bro?
Listen, just like you said, I know absolute nothing about this player, and I came to know, but I didn't even knew about this news, to be very honest. Like you said, you know, I heard it from you. You were the first one to say it to me, but the thing here is, if this is true, Miz, let's analyze the overall situation here. Yeah.
Oh,
listen,
this is gonna be long.
we don't know how this player plays. We've not seen him play. We've heard
nothing. We got no information about him.
Yeah, we apparently will be seeing him play if he does. For us, hopefully, I mean, whatever it is. But the thing here is, if we are approaching the centre back in January, that means the other two boys there on the doors, they're on verge of leaving. Yeah. That's the thing. And that's my concern there. Because we've got someone called as Jules Koundé as well, who's apparently very, very likely to join us, maybe in the January itself. Or maybe you might see that in the summer transfer window. You might see that happening. But that is for sure maybe going to happen. Maybe if not January, then definitely sure for the summer windows. But the thing here is, if this is the way and this is the desperation for us to sign a centre back like that, should we consider that Rudiger?
And also, look at this. He's a left-footed centre back. He plays in these positions. So is this perhaps the start of the Rudiger sort of look out for the Rudiger sort of replacement? And
this might,
I mean, look. He plays for Fenerbahce, Turkish league. I don't know, live chat, help us out. Like, I mean, Ishan, what do you know about Turkish league, man? Are they any good at defending? Are they? I mean, I don't even. They're not even that good in the Champions League when they get an opportunity. Like Besiktas, Galatasaray, Fenerbahce, like they all get spanked, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. Maybe if they're signing a centre back now, maybe this is scouting from Thomas Tuchel himself. Maybe he has seen some individual
Do you think it could be one
attributes.
of those Mendy situation, Ishan, that
Yeah,
catches us
yeah.
by surprise that this guy could be a very, very top defender?
Yeah, maybe. And at this point of time, when Thomas Tuchel is at his first full season as in charge as manager, and apparently he's got some, I mean, January transfer window. This might actually be his scouting, and he might have seen few attributes here and there for this player, and saying that, listen, we might actually try to develop this player. An individual player might not look good at certain system, but when he comes to Thomas Tuchel, maybe Thomas Tuchel can, under him can make him learn things and make him great, just like he made Rudiger great. Because before Thomas Tuchel, I could have not said that Rudiger was great.
But
Everybody was happy.
Before Thomas Tuchel, under Frank Lampard, Rudiger definitely wasn't good. Under Sarri, I think he was fairly good, very good, not world class. And under Conte, he played a little bit as well, and I don't think he was world class there either. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, it could be a situation where Thomas Tuchel's looking out that if Rudiger leaves, we're going to start looking around.
100%, man. And I think so now. If this is actually real, which is looking real, by looking at the details that you've just read out, point 4 and all those decimal numbers, the length of contract and all the salary. I
It's
mean,
done.
oh
It's
my
done,
God,
bro.
he has his we were supposed to know his passport number as well. It's just because of some security reasons we couldn't. But if it's that detailing, maybe it's already done. Maybe, and just maybe, because it cannot be that detailing, miss. I'll be very surprised if things are that much detailing and it ends up, just being a fluke. I don't think so. But if that's the case, then we should start considering and drink the fact that Rudiger is leaving next summer for sure.
Yeah, man. And we're going to talk a lot about this whole situation. I want to talk about the academy. I can see Shingo
Yeah.
here, who lives in Turkey. I'm going to bring that particular comment out. And anyone that knows much about this particular player, please comment, because that's going to help us understand this particular player a lot more. Amir Dogra, thank you so much, my man. Really out of nowhere, this one. Real G's move in silence like lasagna. Nice one, man. Shingo here. This is interesting, Ishan. I'm from Turkey. He's phenomenal for Turkish Super League. Great ball carrier, strong, good in the air. Fenerbahce fans love him. That's pretty big. I just want to quickly once again bring out just some basic stats, and then we'll look at who scored as well. So he's 23. He's young. He's 192 meters, so he's quite tall. I heard the other day, Amir is another one that joins us in the channel. He tweeted out that his Euros aerial stat was like only winning 40% of his aerial duels for a person who's 1.92 meters tall, winning only 40%. But then again, the caliber of teams he came across were France, Portugal, Germany, very, very difficult. So that's fine. It's probably not a good sample size to look at. Obviously, he plays in the left side in the defensive, as a centre back. Contract expires in June 2025. Let's have a look at some of these stats. So Super League, 11 appearances this particular season, 1.7 tackles. I think these are per match. 1.6 interception, offsides. We won't go into all of that. Rating of 6.69. Europa League, 2.8 tackles. Look, overall, it's not anything that sticks out to me, but seems like he's well loved in Turkey. I mean, one thing we could possibly say, Sean, they don't mess around in Turkey. They're quite physical there. We've seen how physical some of these Turkish teams can be. At times a bit dirty as well.
Yeah.
I mean, before we talk about the whole Rudiger situation, the academy and whatnot, but this particular player in itself, could there be something? I mean, we've done madness with Mendy. No one knew anything about Mendy. Could it be? I mean, should we just totally disregard it, Ishan, or should we give it some sort of a thought that maybe if Thomas Tuchel has seen something in him, maybe if our scouts have seen something in him, live chat are saying that plenty of people from Turkey love him. Yeah. Could there be something in him?
For sure, man. For sure, 100%. And I believe in that, and I actually believe in that more. And this is what you guys discussed yesterday in All You Can Eat Chelsea with Matisse and Yunus. You guys said it, that the big names and the greats that we have in our team were not big signings initially. Were not big signings. You see, Hazard was not a big name when we signed him. Azpilicueta is not a big signing. Ivanovic was not a big signing. Didier Drogba, absolute
not a huge signing at all. Yeah.
Absolute average signing. And these guys are our club legends, and these guys have developed under the manager, that they had that individual potentiality to come up there and do big things. And that's what I believe in, Miss, because that's what I've seen in my eyes. And there are many examples. And there are many players who big name players who absolutely failed in our club miserably. And I can count many of them. Let's not go into that, but we know that's happened. And we've got many examples of that. So I do believe in that. I do believe in the scouting. I do believe.
And Ishan, let's be honest, some of the big purchases that we bought recently, I'm not going to name names because I don't want to get into that trouble. Yeah. Some of the recent big names that we bought hasn't really worked out either. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. 100%. And also, we've struggled with the disbalanced wage structure as well. That also counts. That also we have to take into account. And also, these are the players who'd come in the new league. It would be difficult for them, and also you wouldn't expect them to perform instantly, knowing the fact that you don't know this player. Like this player we don't know about, and if he comes to Chelsea, you would say that, all right, I've not seen much of it. Even if he takes time, he might take time, and it's fine. But if it's a big name, let's say if we sign Nicolas Sule, if he comes to Premier League, that's
right now. You better click right now.
You better give me 5 clean sheets on the trot in the first 5 games you play, or else you're shit, brother. You're shit, buddy. And there's no one helping that. So that's the expectation level we have with a big name player and some, the names that we don't know. And that's, I think, so good. That's good for an individual player to actually go out there, be comfortable in the initial years, to learn from the manager, and then, try to flourish in the team. So I think so. If, like you said, and like we've mentioned, that if this is Thomas Tuchel's scouting, and if he's seen something in this player,
we need to respect it. Maybe we need to respect it.
We need to respect it. We need to believe it. And if this detailing of some journalists coming up and saying it's already done,
23.4. 23.4. Don't forget the point 4. Don't forget the point 4.
Point 4. Yeah. Point 4. Very important. So if that's the case, I think so. We should be respecting that, and we should be giving time to that. Thomas Tuchel is definitely not a bunny when it comes to tactics. We all know that. He knows who he wants, and he knows exactly what he's doing. So
he would have watched the Euros, Ishan. He would have seen this play in the Euros. Let's be honest.
Definitely.
I mean, he might. This particular, defender didn't catch our eyes, but many fans out there that watch football on a more detailed basis on other teams like Hungary and whatnot. Like, I didn't really catch any of the. I mean, I watched France, Hungary. I watched Germany, Hungary, but I didn't really focus on the Hungarian, like their players. I was more focused. So, and that's the thing. Like, for me, international matches, I just tune in to just for the vibes. Really, I don't really concentrate on the way I do with Chelsea, I suppose. Or in
by the way, Germany slapped 9-0 to Liechtenstein.
But I can't believe Liechtenstein even has a team, but it is what it is. Thank you so much for the super chat. I mean, honestly, your support for the channel is incredible. And everyone that supports the channel, honestly, thank you so much. We're only 10 likes away from 50 likes. We've got over 80 people live right now. So let's get to the first milestone of 50 likes. So that's only 10 likes away. So let's get there straight away. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe as well. You guys are enjoying it. I can see it. The live chat is popping off. And we're going to continue talking about Attila Szalai, and try and understand this situation. I'm really enjoying what you guys are presenting in the live chat. And thank you for everyone that's obviously putting out the super chats. Amir, this one here, the rumor originated from Turkey, so it's most probably fake. But then we have assistant coach who is Hungarian. This is why I'm not sure what to think. And then Prashant was saying as well, he played for Hungary in Euro, and he's one of their main player for Hungary in Euros. Then we've also got Amir again. If Turkey had another reliable CB, this guy would be playing in the midfield. That's how good he is with the ball at his feet. Definitely a Tuchel profile. I don't think he's a Turkish national. He's a Hungarian national. So if Turkey had another reliable CB, yeah, he's not a Turkish national, if that's what you mean. We've then got our assistant manager is a Hungarian. There you go. So there could be some sort of links there. Amir again, sorry, meant Hungary, not Turkey. There you go. Yeah, thought so. Here we go. Shingo saying Fenerbahce president Ali Koch said we won't consider selling Szalai under 20 million. Sevilla and Atletico interested in Szalai. This is 100% true. If Sevilla is interested in someone, keep an eye on. Shingo, honestly, I would actually trust a little bit about Shingo because he's from Turkey. So they would know what sort of news is going on there, which is very interesting. I mean, Ishan, let's talk a little bit about this whole Rudiger. I don't want to get into too much detail about Rudiger leaving. I think it's getting closer and closer that he's probably going to leave. But I do want to talk about, Ishan, if he goes, are you going to be considering straight away from the market, or are you going to give our academy a bit of an opportunity? I mean, I'm thinking someone like Chalobah could become a left CB because Chalobah has played that in France when he was in loan. So it's not like it's foreign to him. He could definitely play that. So someone like Chalobah could take over that particular position. But someone in the bench who can come in as a rotation, would you look at an academy player like a Levi Colwell, who's doing really well at Huddersfield? Would you give that an opportunity at all, or would you categorically say, no deal, get me someone from the market?
Very, very, very interesting time to ask this question. Why? Because we've got contract situation here, and it can go any side. We can have both the players signed. It is possible. It's looking highly unlikely, but it is possible. We can have both the players gone. We can have one player staying and one player gone, which is quite likely seeming at this point of time, which might happen, knowing the fact that Rudiger is on the very verge to leave, and Christensen might seem to end up signing the contract. It might happen. We never know. But that's the scenario. The dilemma here is, like you said, Jules Koundé is one of the prospects that I believe that it's gone so far with Koundé. The last time in the summer transfer window, we've been through that mess together in the streams. It's gone so far with Koundé.
We're probably going to get him. We're probably going to get him now.
We probably should be getting him. I mean, it's already on the cards for Koundé. Next, we've got Chalobah. That means he's definitely a long-term player for us now.
Yeah.
There is a Thiago Silva contract situation as well that we need to sort it out, and that is very, very important.
I think he may sign one more season.
He needs to miss. If Rudiger leaves,
Thiago
Silva has to sign a new contract. It'd be so important for him, because if you'd say that the worst case scenario, thinking about the worst case scenario here, Silva, Christensen, Rudiger, all three leaving, the three most experienced defenders in our team, and you're saying that we're going to play the whole
disaster.
I mean, these new center backs for us, doesn't matter if you take from the academy or doesn't matter we buy it from outside. If we have a new frame of a back three, it is going to be very, very difficult for our team to actually, try to adapt to the whole of the new back three, accommodate these new players, make these three new players learn and get acquainted to the Premier League. It is going to be very, very difficult for us to do that. It's going to be time taking as well. So it's so important. If Rudiger leaves, it's very, very important for Thiago Silva to stay. Just for the sake of making these new players learn. Definitely, Chalobah also needs now some nurturing. It's not that this is the end product. This is nowhere near the end product. He's playing good, and we should be very happy for that. But he definitely
there's a lot of development. There's still a lot of development.
There are still steps he needs to go ahead. and he needs to go above his levels. And for that, Thiago Silva is a very, very, very main character you need to have in the team. Also knowing the fact that Jules Koundé would, if he comes in, or you'd say the likes of this Zalai, this new guy who's about to come in. It's so important for these new guys to have someone like Thiago Silva in the dressing room, or maybe even in the pitch,
just to guide around. Do you know what I mean?
To just look around your shoulder and see that, oh my days, it's Thiago Silva here. You need to big your game up big time, or else it's going to be shambles for you. And that eventually comes up when you have the likes of Thiago Silva on the pitch. Now, that's why I'm saying. Now, coming to the academy point of view, I think so. It's such an important point to talk here, because we've got some good guys coming up. Like you said, Colwell is coming up and he's playing good at Huddersfield. We've got Mbuyamba, and I'm a big advocate of that player because I've seen him play, and he's been really, really good in the academies. He's been kind of a he's been rumored as the next Van Dijk. He's so good, and he is.
Do you think he probably needs a loan before he starts getting Chelsea minutes?
Yeah, maybe he needs that, and he might get that. But I think so. If you have a crisis kind of a scenario, you can direct inherit him in the team.
Yeah,
he's good, but he'll need that learning stage. He'll need that progression, and I think so. He'll go out for loan eventually. But we should not lose this guy by any means to any other team or club. He should be going out there, but his aim and our board's aim should be to inherit in our club, in our playing 11, in the coming future. But looking at Colwell, and you've got Chalobah, who's signed a new contract. We've got Mbuyamba as well, who might sign with us, as the first team player. It's so important for Thiago Silva to stay. It's so important for Christensen to stay as well.
I would even say Azpilicueta. Probably important that he sticks around for at least another couple of seasons.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, and like we've always said, Miss, that Azpilicueta can take that right centre-back role and actually fill that gap up, because he can do that. Thomas Tuchel has played him in that position, and he might be using in that. And also in certain games, you need experience to take over and just guide the whole game. And we've seen that in big matches and against experienced team, you actually need experienced players to guide your team through. And we've seen that Thomas Tuchel use his most experienced players and rest the like of Reece James, and Chalobah, and play Aspi, Thiago Silva, Christensen, Rudiger. That's
because they're the men. Do you know what I mean? They're the men. Yeah. They've seen it all. They've gone to battlefield. They've had big wars. Do you know what I mean? Like you want to go to a war against a big team with your veterans. Do you know what I mean? Exactly. People that understand how to battle. Not to say that Reece James doesn't know, but he's learning. Yeah. Experience is very important. Aka is saying, I did the YouTube scout on him. Looks good on the ball. A lot of people have been saying this. Attila Szalai, or however you pronounce him, looks very good on the ball. I think that this is another important factor from the left side. Rudiger is so underrated with his ball control abilities. Obviously, lately he's going for the drives. He's carrying the ball, which is fantastic. But Rudiger's passing range from the left side is very, very, very strong. And I think whoever comes in, if it's Attila, they would need to be very good on the left side with the ball. And it's very good to see that he has that particular attribute. Marva, he's saying official. Thomas Tuchel has been named the Premier League manager for the month for October. I see no issues with this at all. I mean, I'm not surprised, to be honest. We've won everything from the last international break to this one, except for the Burnley one right at the end. So not surprised that Thomas Tuchel's in the mix of manager of the month. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins it, because Pep has lost to Palace. Klopp has got a couple of draws leading into the international break.
Moyes was a good shot, to be honest.
David Moyes could be a good shout. He's been doing madness with West Ham, so maybe that could be a shout there. But yeah, I'm not surprised about this one bit. Aka, how have Chelsea allowed Rudy to run down his contract like this? I'm praying we keep Rudy. Let's tackle this a little bit before we just go back to Attila Szalai. I mean, Ishan, a lot of people once again kind of blaming Chelsea. How did you let it get down? Let's not forget the fact, literally 11 months ago in January, Rudiger was not the same Rudiger that we're seeing now. Rudiger was a shadow of a player who had injury issues from the season before with his knee. He was slowly recovering. He was part of a team that was letting in goals left, right, and center. He was getting abused by his own fans, and he was at a point very, very close to leaving Chelsea. Chelsea were looking to sell him. And even prior to that, he had that serious injury when under Sarri's season, he had that injury, and then obviously he didn't play a lot of the Lampard season, then came midway through. And even under Sarri's season, he was very good, but not world-class. And seasons before that, he was very good, but not world-class. So, Ishan, this comment from Aka, not just from Aka, I'm not having a go at Aka, it's many fans that think like this. I don't think Chelsea purposely let it get to so late because they never expected Rudy to be world-class now. They simply did not expect this. So can you be upset with Chelsea at all in this situation? Me personally, I can't.
Absolutely not. Miz, I think so. Aka has not seen, all you can eat Chelsea's that aired yesterday. And your analogy after that has opened my eyes. I mean, listen.
I mean, we can all relate, can't we? We can all relate.
It is 100% exactly the scenario is, and I can 100% relate to that. And I realized that it has actually opened my eyes because before that, even I was like, oh my God, how can Chelsea do that? I mean, Chelsea should actually give him. He actually deserves that. He might deserve that. He might. But after your analogy yesterday, and after watching that, it actually opened my eyes and said that this is a huge thing to think upon. This is a huge
He's
topic
only
to think
been
about.
world class for a short time, Ishan.
Yeah.
And it's been in a back three under this system. Yeah. What if we change? Do you remember when Rudy was in a back four, how erratic he was? Do you remember?
Yeah, exactly. And like you said, in all you can eat as well, it's not always greener at the other side. Yeah. You never know what's gonna happen. Whenever you think about Rudiger's situation here now, since it's looking like it seems like he would go, but it's still hanging on a cliff now. The thing here is there are two entities here in the whole scenario. Yeah, one is Rudiger and one is Chelsea, because these two entities are related to each other at this point of time. Now, imagine the first scenario where Rudiger leaves. What would happen to Chelsea? We would move on. Simply, we would move on. Yes, we would miss the likes of Rudiger. Why? Because he's been that great. Fans would be, very much hurt and broken down because, probably he's playing like the best in the world at this point of time, and leaving him at this point of time might be very much kind of detrimental to our fan base. But is it the end of the world? Absolutely not. Right? We might get a big name with Chelsea Football Club, and I've heard it from my friends as well. Why are we guys thinking about that? Even he leaves. God damn it, we are Chelsea Football Club.
We're Chelsea Football Club, man. We'll find someone again.
Find someone better.
Look, I want Rudy to stay, but if this comment here, Sean, brilliant comment, Roby, by the way, giving players whatever the money they want will set a bad precedent, and we will have ripple effect on other contracts. Ishan, you know how important this is. Look at Christensen now. He's thinking, wait a minute, what's going on with Rudiger? Maybe I'll take my time as well. See what's going on. Maybe I'll see what I can get better. Yeah. We saw what happened to Barcelona. Ishan, you produced a madness during July, August. This contract, just paying money, whatever. Some journalists are saying Rudiger has asked for something in excess of 250,000 a week. We can't just be throwing that level of money. I know we've done mistakes, but we can't be making more mistakes. And Rudy has been only good for a very short amount of time.
Yeah, 100%. Like you always say, it's so important. It's so important. And this might be the actual case now that, the club's stature, the club's prestige and the importance of a club in a negotiation, in any negotiation. It's important for a club stature and the badge of the club to be on top, to dominate the negotiation. It's very important. If you as a club succumb to any negotiation in terms of showing desperation of wanting or signing someone, maybe contract basis, renewing a contract or signing new player, if you bow down to any player in that way in any negotiation or any agent, it's bad for your club's prestige. That's what Barcelona did for years now, and look at now where they've landed themselves in. And that's exactly not what you should do as a club. At this point of time, be it Rudiger, be it Mason Mount, be it Lukaku, it doesn't matter. The club's stature, the club's integrity in terms of negotiation should be on the top. As a club, you should be dominating a negotiation, right?
Yeah.
You are a football club and you run a whole club. You can't be looking at a single player or a single entity who's been performing in your team. It is a club that you need to run. The player is going to retire. The club is not going to retire. The club has to run for years and years coming. But a
Yeah.
player might be retiring in 5, 6 years, 10 years down the line. The club will have to run years and years. Now,
Yeah.
with one contract, if you disrupt that stature of the club for the next upcoming contracts and next upcoming transfers, it's going to be difficult for you to maintain that prestige, to maintain that stature. Why? You've already been, bundling the contracts and bundling the negotiations. I mean, you've succumbed down to those pressurized situations. So in the next coming negotiation, next coming transfers, it's going to be difficult for you to maintain that authority, to maintain
So
that
true. So true.
dominance.
Put it this way,
Right?
Sean. We give Rudiger whatever money he wants. Christensen then asks for whatever money. We give him as well. Then we bring in, let's say, a particular defender because down the track, Silva is going to go, and we need to bring in someone. That particular new defender will be asking for more money as well. All of a sudden, the benchmark becomes Rudiger's salary. That's the benchmark. That's the starting point, and that's the scary part.
Yeah, man, 100%. I mean, this is a big topic to talk about, man. It is important, and I'm sure people will, get hurt. Even I'll get hurt. Everybody will get hurt knowing the fact that he's
We'll
such a
all
good
get
player,
hurt, bro. We'll all
and
get
he
hurt.
has to get,
Yeah.
yeah. But the thing here is even Rudiger might know the fact that, listen, they might not listen to me what I'm demanding at this point of time. Maybe that's why I need to look out, and he should be respecting that. As a player, you should be respecting that. You know the fact that if the club is not succumbing down to your demands, you have to respect that, because club is trying to maintain the heritage and not trying to disrupt something which has not been done. Am I saying the fact that he does not deserve? Absolutely not. Rudiger deserves what he's demanding at this point of time that he's playing. He
He
deserves
deserves it.
what he's
Yeah, yeah.
demanding.
Of course.
Definitely, you've made a very, very good point always, that the longevity, we've not seen that. It's been just 10 months or 12 months, if you can sum it up. The longevity hasn't been there to actually make a mark on that contract and justify that. Definitely, we need more longevity in it. But the thing is, at this point of time, when the iron is hot, he's striking it, and he's
He's
supposed to
yeah.
do that.
He's supposed to
you
do
know
that. Yeah.
he's
We
supposed
can't
to
hate
do
him.
that.
We
And
can't hate him for that.
you are not supposed to hate it, because he's thinking about his family, his last
Yeah.
last major contract, his
Yeah.
game time, everything, right? Now, fine, if he leaves, we might move on, we might get some other player. People might be cussing the club, there's that, but eventually we'd move on. Why? Because it's a club, and like I said, the club has to run longer than a player has to run in a club. So new player might come on, we might move on, like we just did with Eden Hazard. We were broken down when Eden Hazard left. Why? Because he's probably one of the most talented players that we've ever had and ever seen
Yeah.
in the club. But we've moved on. We never won a Champions League under Eden Hazard. Eden Hazard gone. We won the Champions League. Now who thinks about Eden Hazard? Right? Nobody wants that. And
Nobody.
he's Eden Hazard still not a Champions League winner. That's the reality. That's the sometimes you just need to let things
It's
go.
never always the best when you go. The
Exactly,
grass isn't
100%.
always the greener on the other
Now,
side.
from Rudiger's point of view, if he leaves, where he leaves, which team he leaves, does he get game time? We are not supposed to think about that. Why? Like you said, it's not always greener at the other side. You might have You might have your refs, but that's up to you. Like Eden Hazard is suffering, you might suffer. You never know. Like the other guys are flourishing, you might flourish. Like Robin went to Barcelona, Bayern Munich, sorry, he flourished, one of the best in the world. You might be that, fine, but that's not up to us thinking that. But we as a club, we need to move on. And whatever decision is this, listen, Marina and the board members are not a bunny of
Yeah.
managers there. They know that this guy is performing at his best, and he needs to stay for the best of the club. But if a club needs to put their heads down and bend over to a player, that's not good. That's not
No.
good to any player. Doesn't matter if whoever the player is. The club is
You,
always
you try and find
integral.
a middle ground. You try and find a
No,
middle
you find
ground.
a middle ground. If the player is not agreeing to a middle ground, then that means definitely he's the player, or any individual or any transfer negotiations want you to go down and bow down and do things.
Mm.
Similarly, things happened with Haaland deal, miss. Why? Because Haaland deal was so complicated. The
Ridiculous.
club, our club, or whichever club negotiates with Haaland and Mino Raiola, will actually have to bow down, bend over, and agree to each and every single clause that they put in, and then you
Yeah.
get the chance of Haaland coming to your club. That's actually
And
not
then if
good,
he's a
not good for
flop,
your
and
club.
then if he's a flop,
Then if he's a flop, whatever, he's got a release clause.
you're
Boom,
stuck.
first
You're
year he's
stuck.
gone.
Yeah.
You're stuck. You're stuck, and that's not good for the integrity of the club. People might not realize that because people are not running the club.
Yeah.
Actually, they're not sitting behind and thinking about these things. But these things needs to be thought of. What if he signs a big money deal, and you never know. You guys brilliantly discuss this and debate this in All You Can Eat, and I love those episodes to watch. You've talked about every nooks and corners of the whole situation. What if Thomas Tuchel leaves before Rudiger? And what if the new manager comes up and Rudiger does not click?
That's not fancy
Have
Rudiger.
have have people ever thought about that? I mean, like I said, the club runs longer than a player or a manager.
This is a very good point, Ishan. If we
Yeah,
give Rudiger 5 years, can we say Thomas Tuchel will last for 5 years?
exactly. I mean, look at that. I mean, I get what fans are thinking about, but just like Chelsea perspective says, it takes time to assemble a solid defense line.
Yeah.
Agreed. But what are you gonna do? Succumb to and lower down your prestige, your club's prestige to one player's contract? No, absolutely not. Your club's heritage, your club's prestige is more bigger. Yes,
Yeah.
we might the peas are not getting out of our pocket, but we need to think about that. We cannot just agree to every single thing that a player brings up. Am I saying that does not deserve? Again, I'm repeating myself. Absolutely not. Rudiger deserves, and maybe that's why he needs to find a club that might justify his contracts, and he'll get that easily at this point of time. But at this point, at Chelsea, maybe that might not work because we might not just do that, and it's difficult to negotiate because you never know. You never know even how long our manager's going to run. So how you going to give the surety to a player that this player is going to run longer this much with this much contract? The way that he's playing now, he'll be playing like this for after 3 years, 4 years. Who's guaranteed that? What if there's a chance? And I think so. There's a positive thing here, Miss. There's a positive vision here. We've learned from this Danny Drinkwater and Zappa Costas and Barclays, the whole situation here. We've learned from it. Maybe we know the fact that now wasting our wage on these players who might not be useful anymore. It's not good. Maybe we should think about the contract situation more, wages situation more, and then plan accordingly. That's exactly what I'm seeing here in Rudiger's contract situation. And I'm thinking that from a club's point of view, from a longevity point of view, it's a good thing. We're thinking about players' contracts, the wages, how long he's going to play, how long he's going to serve, if he's
All
going to
of
serve
these
on a
things are impact, like they impact the club. They impact the club.
exactly the longevity point that you thought. It's so important. Why? Because the amount of wages that you see, that level of wage has been given to Eden Hazard. You see the
Yeah.
longevity and the consistency every single season. That's why he deserved that. N'Golo Kante, since he joined, the day he joined, he's been the one of the best
Yeah.
CDMs in the world football, and he's done that every single season. And now he's earned that position to get that contract and a long-term contract as well, to hold that and be actually justifying that contract.
Yeah.
But again, Rudiger, like you said, beautiful point with your analogy. Has he delivered? before 10 months, we didn't want Rudiger as well in the team.
It was
Nobody
leaving.
wanted Rudiger. And can you say with Rudiger that he's done this years and years continuously?
No, you can't say that.
If he'd done that, maybe he would have got that contract. He would have got that contract. Maybe if right from the years that he signed, from since Saudi, continuously banging performances every
100% he would have got that contract. 100% he would have got.
This would have been done. But this is such a beautiful thing to analyze and think about this point of time. That have you been that much consistent at this point of time? You've solved the MCQ and been the star of the whole class, topper. Would you top in the long-term exam?
Yeah.
Beautiful analogy.
Honestly, I mean, what if he's one? And I'm not saying that he is. I love Rudiger, but I'm just saying we don't have history how he could roll. What if he's one of those players? As soon as he gets the contract, the level drops. The level drops. He feels relaxed. He's not a man on a ledge, as Ishan likes to say. He feels like he's comfortable. So lots to think about. Chelsea perspective, sure, we'll find someone else. But here is the thing. It takes time to assemble a solid defensive line like we have now. But then again, giving him what he wants sets a dangerous precedent. 100% right. Roby here, once again, really nice comment. Miz, Aspie earns 145k a week and he's the club captain and he has been here for longer. Fantastic point. And Rudy has given 175k contract. That's more than Aspie. So cannot just ask for whatever he wants and expect. This is exactly what Ishan's saying. Someone like Aspie, who has been giving minimum 7 out of 10 performances from the beginning of time.
Every game.
Since he came. Every single match. He's earning less. So why? We have to understand these things. We must understand these concepts. It's not something to joke around. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that pretty much brings us till the end of the show. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. We've talked about Hakim Ziyech. I think my man here, Superheroes Gaming. I always like Superheroes Gaming's comments. He's always after Ziyech. Is that true, Ziyech to Dortmund? Look, we don't know what's true, but it's a rumor that's going around. Nothing is absolutely true as yet. I think one thing can be true is that he may be looking to leave. I think this is something that is believable. Whether he goes to Dortmund, I don't know. But many journalists have said that he could possibly leave. That's what the notion was in the summer transfer window. So, that side of things we can kind of believe. But ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have enjoyed this. We've gone for an hour and 17 minutes. We've got 53 likes. Smash the like button as many likes as we can get. If we can get too close to 100 likes, which would be fantastic. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. We'll have another stream approximately 9:30 p.m. UK with Jonathan and Taryn. So it'll be after the England-Albania game. So 9:30 p.m. tonight, UK time. And we're going to be assessing Chelsea's season so far up until the international break. Positives, negatives, best match, best goal, worst match, worst performance, best player, worst player, underwhelming player, all that kind of stuff. We'll be talking about that 9:30 p.m. UK time. Make sure you tune in for that. If you're here for the first time, subscribe, hit the bell notification so you're aware. Check out Ishan and his socials in the description. And I honestly can't wait to see all of you guys again later tonight if you guys can make it. Obviously, time differences could be an issue, but I will try and have the shorter videos, streams. Ishan will be part of the channel as always. So we're going to try and ramp things up very soon because the month of November and December after the international break, woo! Football. Just glue this channel
2 games
to your
in
wall.
3 days.
Yeah, glue it to your wall and just have it on. That's it. And you'll see content flying through. Until next time, everyone, take care and see ya.